What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James, talking to you today about the crypto news. And my gosh, a market bounce. It's nice to see before this imminent meeting with the Fed tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Before I get into the crypto news, as always, I update the spreadsheet. These are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. I thought would smash it in the cycle. If you invested $100 to each one of these before I released the videos, you're still holding those bags. You'd be in profit for over $58,000. This is not what I hold anymore. You want to see what I hold, you can come check out Copy My Crypto. 2021 was an awesome year. 2022, I still believe, could be an incredible one. And even if it isn't, guess what? It will be, because a bear cycle is beautiful. And even if that's where we're at, it's going to be magnificent. I found Phantom in a bear cycle. That's still up 459 times in value. And that's after like the last week of retracements. And I'm going to find another gem like that. And when I do, I'm going to share it with the Copy My Crypto members. So if you want to be a part of it, click the link in the description and check it out. Right, Bitcoin rallied like 9% from the point it was at yesterday. So that's really positive. Obviously, the general market is seeing a pretty decent bounce. We're seeing quite a few double-digit percentage gains. Certainly high single percentages as well. So generally, that's pretty positive for the market, but make no mistake about it, we're not out of the woods yet. There is an enormous meeting tomorrow that I cannot really overemphasize how important that is in terms of the short-term outlook of the market. Long-term, it still has no impact. Long-term, we know when we zoom out, crypto is trending up. But right now, in the short term, things look precarious. Now, in a couple of things that have come out recently. I'm going to start with the negative and end with the positive. I like to do that. So the gaming developers have been surveyed. So the Game Developers Conference is obviously coming up. And the show's organizers run a polling around the world on what's happening and how developers are feeling with regards to whatever it is within the gaming space. So in this regard, they were asked, game developers and everyone in the industry was asked, what's your studio's interest in cryptocurrency as a payment tool? 72% said not interested. 6% said very. 21% said somewhat interested. And 1% said already using it. And pretty much the exact same percentages for NFTs. What's your studio's interest in non-fungible tokens? 7% said very interested. But otherwise, yeah, the rest of the percentages are the same. Although that, interestingly, doesn't work out, does it? Because that adds up to 99%. I'm just saying, when you're doing a survey, what's wrong with you? Add up the percentages correctly. Because that, 7 add 21, add 70, add 1, is not 100%, is it? Is 99%. Shit maths. Anyway, so generally the consensus within developers is they're not interested. The general consensus. Now, some people have said it's the wave of the future. We're also getting people that are questioning whether or not it's a pyramid scheme. Questioning whether or not it's driving a wedge in the heart of the industry. Yeah, so it's a very interesting one, because right now there's a lot of people that are very against it, and there's a lot of people that are for it. I mean, the promising signs are obviously, the level of developments that we've seen within crypto gaming. But what's important is, obviously, what people think isn't what people think about crypto and NFTs now, but what this level of resistance will look like when executives from companies like Ubisoft and EA start asking their developers to implement the tech in the games they make it for a living. That's when the driver wedge right in the heart of the industry comment is going to start feeling very real. But here's the reality. These companies, whether it's EA, whether it's Ubisoft, whether it's any other gaming company, if they are missing profits, they're going to start introducing this. It's just that simple. They're not going to hold back from utilizing crypto or NFTs if they feel they can make massive profits. It is that simple. And then the developers that are working for those companies, well, 99% of them will do it. You might have that 1% of developers that go, it's not for me. I can't participate in this, and might walk away. I would guess less than 1%. And it's a really interesting survey to put out there because it acts like, well, it presents the idea that the developers have a choice. But if you're working for a company and they tell you to do something, you do your job. And the developers don't have a say in what is introduced to a company. That's the executives. So this is quite an interesting one. Because gaming and NFTs are the two elements of crypto that are so new that there are legitimate questions about how much a bear cycle would potentially impact them. Would NFTs be impacted, or would they be a store of value? Because if you think about it, and it's not really I've not actually heard anyone saying this, but this is just me spitballing. But people put money into, guitars. Like, people buy Eric Clapton's guitar, and that's a store of value. Yeah, people buy gold, it's a store of value. People buy art, and it's a store of value, right? So is digital art the same? Can digital art be the same? Is an actual question. Because say these Bored Apes, right? Crazy money, absolutely staggering money. But if they're perceived as digital art, do they maintain their value even in a bear cycle? It's a question. I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just saying people put their money into physical objects that are stores of value. A digital version of art could be a store of value. There's the narrative around, can an NFT hold their value during a bear cycle? Can an NFT be a store of value during a bear cycle? It's an interesting one. That's just me thinking. Let me know, actually, in the comments, if you think NFTs are going to be a store of value, if you think they're going to be a waste of space, let me know. It might actually be, I think obviously it depends on the hype behind an NFT collection, because I don't necessarily see, Bored Apes as being anything great, but I see that they've got a ton of hype. So maybe that hype carries them through a bear cycle. But let me know. The good news, so this is good news in the sense of, wider recognition again. So ex-Goldman Sachs chairman and CEO Lloyd Blankfein said his view of cryptocurrencies has evolved after digital assets attracted trillions of dollars in value and a rapidly growing ecosystem. So obviously he's come out and said that as crypto has attracted trillions of dollars, you've got to acknowledge it. What he's also said is his view himself is evolving. He's saying he can't predict the future, but I think it's a big thing to be able to predict the present, which, by the way, that's just looking. That's not predicting. But so he says, I think it's a big thing to be able to predict the present, like what is happening. And I look at the crypto and it is happening. So he used his eyes. It's not prediction. I'm just saying, right? By happening, he obviously means the ecosystem has grown. The cryptocurrencies have matured. We've seen an enormously high valuation in crypto from just 2 years ago. The market actually reached a high of $3.1 trillion in November. That's staggering amounts of money. And he said, look, it's lost a lot of value, but at a point where it's trillions of dollars of value contributing to it and a whole ecosystem is growing around it, Of course, we have the benefits of instantaneous transfer, reduction of credit risk, and all the benefits of blockchains. And he used to criticize Bitcoin as a store of value, saying that regulators should be hyperventilating over its rise. And he's come out. He said, "Look, I may be skeptical, but I'm also pragmatic about it. So I would certainly have an oar in the water," which is a weird way of saying, yes, I'd basically be investing in the market. He's not saying a boat, he's saying an oar. He's saying a small percentage of someone's portfolio in crypto. He also said that banks trade at an unbelievably low multiple and that some of the best investments are made in declining markets. This is what we've all been saying. This is what I've been saying relentlessly. A bear cycle is like a declining market. When a market is starting to drop, when you've got a market that's in a bear cycle, it's the best opportunity. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. But it's good to see someone that was so influential at one of the biggest banks in the world saying, you've got to acknowledge it's here, it's happening, and people should be a part of it. And that's nice to see. And here's the thing, whether it's this nonsense survey that's given to game developers that I don't believe, I believe there's some level of narrative being pushed in. Well, there's certainly a narrative being pushed in this article. But here's the reality: developers have no say in what a company does. They just don't. So, fundamentally, that's all that matters. A developer, developers are awesome in what they do, but they don't make decisions for companies. And this is not particularly reflective of what we've seen this year either, because game developers have flocked to blockchain. We've seen it. So, yeah, it's a very, but it's an interesting one. But generally, I think it's good to see a massively influential former banker talking about crypto being positive. I think this survey needed to be pointed out that it's nonsense. On top of the fact that they can't do basic maths because one of their questions doesn't even add up to 100% for responses. So they're not good at their job. That's all I wanted to say. Anyway, if you're new to crypto or you've been here a while, come check out Copy My Crypto. Like I said, it's where I share my portfolio. 2021 was fantastic. 2022, I still think is going to be very, very good. There's going to be so many opportunities, whether we're in bull or bear. It's going to be awesome. And if you want to be a part of that, match the gains myself make, my members make, then come check it out. The link, guys, is in the description. Take it easy. Bye-bye.